Hi everyone and welcome to Property Sisters UK. We are just hot off the TV at the moment. We've just watched the Chancellor just announce all the latest cuts, and it's quite amazing what he's got in store. Just a first quick introduction. We've got Helen Chorley here. Helen is an angel investor. Hello. She has got 50 million in her pipeline coming up, so she really knows about investing. She's also on Property TV, Property Elevator. The new website is launching today, and if you want to find out how to get involved, or if you want to apply for funds from the program, then you need to have a look at the description below, and also Helen will give a little bit of information at the end. So we're all really, really excited about that. And there's loads of stuff on social media as well. So just come and check out our Instagram pages. So yeah, there was many measures today in the Chancellors Economic Statement. It's not a budget apparently, but it looked like a budget to me. It was all about fighting employment. We're on the second phase for job retention. So there was lots of really exciting stuff there. Kickstart programs, incentives for companies taking on new trainees, young people back to work, Green Deal for homeowners, etc., etc. But what we're really, really interested in is the stamp duty. And so Helen has fantastically found out exactly how it applies to buy-to-let owners and for residential as well. So she's going to take you through it right now. So if we start off with residential, how will that affect anyone buying a home?
So thanks, Ruth. Great to be here. So what Rishi's done in this statement is effectively move the band. He hasn't done away with stamp duty, so let's not get too excited. But what he has done is move that band, that threshold that was at £125,000, below which if you bought anything, any property below that, you wouldn't pay any stamp duty at all. He's increased that to £500,000. So that is a hell of a jump. So anything up to £500,000 as a owner, as a residential owner occupier that you buy, there's no stamp duty applicable up to that level.
So it has to be my main residential home, and it's only for up to 500,000.
Exactly.
If you could just take a screen, we've got what it was prior to 1 o'clock today.
Absolutely. So here, the top line there, up to 125,000, zero rate SDLT. So if you bought a property up to £125,000 in value, no stamp duty payable at all. For any purchases above 125, up to a limit of 250, then there was 2% stamp duty payable. And the third line shows you from 250 up to a limit of 925,000, 5% was payable on that portion. So these are all tiers of what was applicable. Yeah. So what has happened is where the 125 is at zero rate, here we can see the new rates. Effectively, that 125 has gone to 500,000. I mean, that's a hell of a jump.
If I was to buy a new home for 500,000, what does that represent in saving?
It's about £15,000 saving, which on a purchase price of 500,000 is really significant.
Yeah. But what you're also saying is that if I bought something that was, say, £1 million, I still get that saving of 15,000, don't I?
Absolutely, because what it's done is it's increased the band, it's increased where stamp duty starts at. So I actually worked it out because I know somebody else on this call is buying a new house, and I worked it out. Up to that higher rate of 925, if you were to buy a £925,000 property, before this you would have paid £36,250 in stamp duty. Yeah. That is now, under this new rate, this is £21,250. So again, you've got that £15,000 saving.
So wherever you are along that spectrum, buying your main home residential, you are going to save money, whether you're at the 150, 200,000 pound end, or whether you're up at the higher end. And what I read online as well is that anyone buying their first home, so a first time buyer, would revert to these savings. The rate for obviously would be higher for first time buyers. This is a lot more economical for them, so they revert to this one as well. So that's really good for everyone.
I think that's going to be that's going to be a real kind of benefit, is particularly from a developer and investor standpoint. If people are building new homes and kind of around this, you know, kind of up to that £500,000 limit, then they've just suddenly become more affordable. So that's really good news for developers.
I can't see any other way he could have done that, because if, for example, I was selling my home for 600,000, you can't just band it off for only people under 500, because then you will stall that part of the market. So I think a lot of people will think, oh, it only benefit, you know, it's really going to benefit people with lots of money, but actually you need to free up those homes at the other end of the market as well, you know, the big family homes for people to downsize in.
You really do, because it's all kind of, you know, it's a ladder, it's a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
And if it had been done another way, you start to distort the market around those threshold levels. So I mean, we might see a little bit of that, but no, overall beneficial.
I mean, I see this really starting to pump through into the market. I mean, I think where transactions have been kind of, it was all a bit manic straight after Corona, and then it's died down quite significantly. And I think this will get the market back moving again, you know, for the...
Absolutely, and that's exactly what it's aimed at.
Yeah.
Because once you get kind of the housing market moving, it feeds through into consumer demand. So I think that's exactly who he's aiming at and who he's targeting with this measure.
I found it a bit confusing, because with the higher rates with buy-to-let, we're interested, we're all investors here. People are here watching this YouTube channel because they are investors and they're buying buy-to-let purchases, HMOs, etc., etc. So what can you tell us now about the new rates for the higher? I've got it here, you've sent it over to me, so I'll just post that up for you. What does the higher rates mean? Because I know there's a lot of confusion, especially within our Property Sisters network, about, you know, how they're going to charge this as well.
Exactly. So unfortunately for investors, that additional charge, if you're already a homeowner, that still does apply. So as we can see here, whilst the zero rate band has moved up to £500,000 if you're buying it as your resident, primary principal residence, an investor or somebody with a property already still has the 3% to pay. But they are still benefiting from that 2% band being wiped out, and, you know, that threshold moving up. So there is still a saving there, which is great. We still do have to pay the 3%, but
as you said quite rightly, you know, if I go back to the first page again, we had, and this is on the buy-to-let here, we had 3% rate up to 125, 5% up to 250. You know, and then you're saying that the 250 to 500, which was at 8%, now is at 5%. So I think what you're saying is there is still a significant save for investors, which I think is still fantastic. You know, we can't come away thinking, oh, there's nothing in there for us, because there is.
No, there is. And actually, even that band, you know, it's a very big band there from 250 to 925. So the first kind of bit of that band up to the 500, the rate is actually 3%. So that you've gone from paying 8% to 3% on that. So that is a hell of a saving.
It is a saving. Helen, just in this current marketplace at the moment, what do you think is going to happen? You know, the people that are just about to exchange, or, you know, are there savings to be made, or is this a big bit of a white elephant? What do you think?
I think there are real savings to be made. I guess my one slight word of caution would be that when you think about kind of duty free, we all think duty, you get to the airport and duty, in the old days you got to the airport and duty, you expect everything duty free to be really cheap. But actually what they do is they nick a bit of your saving to kind of increase the price of the product. So I do wonder if some people will be kind of adding a little bit to the price of their properties because they know purchasers are making kind of significant savings now. What I would say is that these are real savings in terms of stamp duty. You have to have that physical cash in your pocket ready to pay out on completion, right? This isn't one of the fees that's due and you can add it to your mortgage and you can pay it off over time and think about it in 25 years. So actually £15,000 like saving in your pocket is a really significant game changer for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say we've got to do this before the 31st of March next year. So there's a bit longer than we expected, but I think it is exciting news, definitely from my perspective.
Indeed, though there was some concern when he would implement it, and he stressed that he'd always planned to implement it immediately, and it's due to run till the 31st of March. Yeah. Again, it'll be interesting to see if he extends that when we get to the October budget. Yeah. I think they'll wait to see kind of the impact, see have the numbers of properties, of transactions increase, if it's having the effect that they want, and maybe they can extend it. I mean, hopefully extend it or take other measures then. Maybe even then, I don't know, maybe they'd play around with the 3% on additional purchases, but
it's really interesting what you said before about the VAT on, at the airport, because actually it just reminded me to go back to what the Chancellor said, at the beginning. We are facing the biggest kind of economic crisis since records began. This is not something that, it's 25% drop in the economy, which is like a significant amount. I mean, he said that that's more than the last 18 years that we built up, and we lost that in 2 months. I mean,
this is great news, but let's not get, too carried away and like go out there and buy everything going. Still having to look forward and actually the impact on the economy that is going to be coming through. Yeah. So I would still say it's super important to work those numbers and make that deal stack. And, I do think, even with this, we might be going into a declining market. That seems to be general consensus. The amount of decline is what's varying. So still be very kind of cautious and still push, the best deal on those purchases. But at least there is a saving in the interim.
Helen, I want to say thank you ever so much. For your synopsis on stamp duty, that's really fantastic, and I think that's going to really help a lot of people. We have been really quick off the bat here from the budget. We wanted to find out all the information for you, so that's what we've done, and hopefully that's really succinct. All the information, all the links to the HMRC website will be down below in the description, so you can go and see how much you can save. Helen's now going to take us through what Elevator is all about, and her exciting new role as a kind of a dragon's den of property TV. So,
sure, I'm going to be one of the angels on the forthcoming Property Elevator series. It's series 2. And the other angels on it are John Howard, Paul Mahoney, Nicholas Walwork, and Ranjan Bhattacharya, who's Baker Street, runs the largest property network, the Baker Street event. That I was on his live stream last month and the month before, actually. And our amazing property sister, Claire Norwood, is actually on this month's Baker Street live stream with him. So I think that's the 29th of this month. And the concept behind it is that people with development or investment projects come to us, lay these out, and we have the choice of whether to enter kind of a JV type arrangement with them, to fulfill their dreams. But we are looking for serious people who really have done their numbers, who really, have something exciting to kind of bring to us, but who are just looking for that funding and also a bit of guidance from one of the angels on there. And we each have our own different specialities, so I don't know if it's that good a deal. Maybe you might get a couple of us fighting over it.
What I really loved when I listened to your video clip that will be up on YouTube later today is that and in your synopsis as well, is that, you know, you are one of the co-founders of the Property Sisters, and you champion women, and you're especially looking for women as well, which I absolutely love. So, you know, especially to all the Property Sisters, analyze your deal and see whether they're good enough, you know, to go on property TV. I mean, that's super exciting.
That word, you know, I love working with, I work with a lot of men and I work with a lot of women. I love both, but it would really make me glad if we could see some kind of Property Sisters and other ladies actually have the confidence. Like, that's why we set up Property Sisters. We're not some kind of women's lib or anything. We just want to give women confidence to step forward and believe in themselves, which sometimes they struggle with a bit. And I think we've got so many examples that we've seen of that, haven't we, Ruth?
Yeah.
And with the little sisters, like, that's just taken off better than our wildest dreams. I think some of them are going to be on there too.
Brilliant. Well, I just want to say thank you again, Helen, for coming on just at this very short notice, and I hope all the viewers will get a lot of value out of the content that we've just produced there. So thanks a lot, Helen.
Thank you for being on the ball as ever, Ruth.
Yeah. See ya. Bye. See ya.